Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, thank you for joining us today. So today's video is episode 3 of our series, Love and Respect. And today we'll be discussing authority and
understanding.
Yes, from the words, chairs, and couple. If you haven't checked out our previous 2 videos, make sure you find the link in our description box or somewhere on your screen. You can watch that before watching this video, so it will help you understand better. Let's get into today's video. All right, ladies, men are the head of the house, as we have made clear in previous episodes, with our basis from the Bible. So as wives, we have to give them the opportunity and appreciate the desire to lead and serve, which in return is showing them respect. So even though our husbands are the head of the house, we should remember that both the husband and wife are supposed to submit to each other, as stated in Ephesians 5 verse 21, which says that we should submit to one another as a reverence for Christ. This means that should there be any misunderstanding, the man has to still provide and care for the wife, which is submitting to her need for love, and the woman also showing respect to the husband in spite of any unresolved issue. So in as much as both husband and wife need to submit to each other, the man is the head of the family and he has to make major decisions. Clearly, no smooth organization can have 2 heads, right? So you have to allow your husband to lead and make decisions. If he is making a decision or before he makes a decision, you disagree with whatever he has to say, you need to let him know politely and respectfully instead of trying to argue with him and trying to make him feel like he knows nothing or he's ignorant about the situation. To say it better, don't disrespect him by criticizing his decision or lecture him on what he should do. Just say it nicely. As women, we have so much power. So sometimes when you even disagree with your man, instead of being disrespectful, you can be quiet. And when I mean being quiet, not the pouty quiet, but the respectable quiet. So you be quiet, but then you still give him that respect. And if he's a good-willed man, he realizes that, oh, my wife is quiet, I don't know about what. You try to understand why you're quiet, and through that you can resolve issues or tell him your mind, and he probably might change his mind about what he said without you having to disrespect him. And so what I just said is in reference to 1 Peter 3 verse 1, which says that wives, follow the lead of your husband. Then let them be won to Christ without words by seeing how their wives behave. So yeah, you can see that women are very powerful, even without speaking. Our husbands could, tell there's something wrong and listen to us. So use that power, don't disrespect him. Sometimes as we women, I'm even guilty about that. It's like I could ask Jesse of his opinion. Let's say we are going somewhere and I'm like, babe, I have 3 clothes. Which of them do you want me to wear? To be honest, I kind of have one I already want to wear, but I'm still asking, right? I ask him and he says, oh, why don't you do this? I'm like, oh, sorry, it's okay. I don't think it's nice. I don't know wear that one. I'll wear this one. So if you keep doing that, or if you keep doing that as wives, it's more like it's like you're pushing them to be quiet. So they wouldn't even want to involve themselves in making decisions on the house. And when they don't do that, we get angry. We get unhappy about the fact that our husbands are passive. It is because of how we react. Sometimes, even during family decision making, we kind of talk over them. We don't listen to them when they say something. We don't even take whatever they say into we don't ponder over it before telling them what we think. So it's more like, oh, even if I say something, she's in charge, so she's just going to do whatever she wants to do. So then they don't become active in making decisions. Yeah, so I advise, based on what we learned from the Bible, or from the book, which is based on the Bible, that it's best to defer to our husbands, okay? And deferring to your husband doesn't mean that he is lording over you. No, it's not. People are supposed to be equal, but he has to make decisions. And you are there as a wife to support him and make solid decisions for your family. To be honest, I know it's going to be very challenging and difficult to defer to your husband or give your husband the opportunity to have authority in your house or in your marriage if you know very well that he doesn't deserve your respect. But you should remember that respecting your husband is a command from God. So when you do that, you're respecting God and you're receiving his blessing. So it will take the grace of God, it will take prayer, it will take dedication and commitment on your part to give your husband the authority or appreciate his authority to make decisions in the house. So please, women, let's give our husbands the authority to rule over the marriage or to make decisions as God gave them the authority. And I believe doing that and relying on God is going to make our marriages successful. So ways your husband can feel that you respect his desire to lead and serve is to you supporting his self-image as a leader. Respect who he is, go to him, make decisions with him. Discuss it and let him make the major decisions. Right.
Generally.
Yeah.
As long as they have open communication, or all the options and opinions are on the table, just trust that your husband will lead you in a good direction if he is a good-willed man and has a heart for Christ.
Yeah. Also, make sure you praise him for good decisions. He make good decisions, praise him for that, especially when he make decisions and things turn out great. And if things don't turn out great, don't criticize him. Just appreciate that at least he made a decision, just that it didn't turn out great. Yeah. That is you being gracious if he makes a bad decision. Another way your husband will feel you respect him or know you appreciate his desire to lead is if you disagree with him respectfully. If you disagree with him respectfully outside, and then you give him or show him the honor in front of your kids. I've seen some couples that they argue over things like very small things in public, and I'm like, that's not something I want to do. And I think I've told you a number of times, if he says something or we're in public and he does something that I disagree with, that I'm not even happy about, I don't change my mood all of a sudden, I just go with the flow. But as soon as we get home, I let him know, hey, I don't think I like what you did, don't do it again. Right.
Yeah, we discuss it and kind of realize our feelings and realize how we've either hurt each other, and we can discuss it and move forward more respectfully and more loving.
Yeah. And finally, another way your husband will feel you respect him is if you give him reasons for disagreeing with things he says. Like, give him the reasons quietly without attacking his right to lead. Yeah, so these are some of the ways you can show respect to your husbands. That is it for today's discussion on authority. I hope you learned something and you apply it to your marriages. I'm going to just to come over to discuss
understanding.
Yeah. Stay tuned.
All right, guys, so here we are, week 3 of our acronym couple, and we're going over understanding. Don't try to fix her, just listen. So we're going to go into our first Bible verse and kind of give our background and our foundation for the rest of our discussion. So we're going to go to 1 Peter 3:7. Husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner, and heirs with you as the gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. So reading this with kind of like today's mindset, hearing wives are the weaker partners and that men have authority and stuff like that, definitely can be taken the wrong way when you don't really fully understand it. So we're going to kind of break that down and let you see how it's more on level playing ground and more beneficial this way in a marriage situation. So even in the first verse, it tells men to be considerate as they're living with their wives. So when you're day-to-day, when you're going through your job or running errands, be thinking about like, how can I help my wife when I get home? Do I need to call my wife now? Do I need to check up on her? Did she tell me something to bring home at the end of the day? So your wife should obviously be someone who's you're thinking about, who you're connected with, and who you are just concerned for. But moving on in the verse, it says that we need to apply respect to our wives as the weaker partner. So in that context, it's not really talking about weaker as far as who's more important in the marriage. It kind of refers to like the women's, your wife's feelings towards you. We can, as men, get kind of slammed on, get yelled at. We can brush it off fairly easily. But because our wives love us, and that her love is connected to her, like her being, when we are harsh and when we are brash, it hurts them much deeper than we get hurt. So that's when we talk to her and when we are confronted by our wives or when we're discussing things, we need to make sure that we respond to her in respectful, like loving ways, so we don't damage her. All right, and then finishing out the verse, it mentions that we are heirs of the gracious gift of life from God. So as heirs, like there's just the gracious gift of life. It doesn't say men receive 110% of gracious life and the wives receive 75%. We both receive the same gift. So it really puts us on equal footing to where like the husband can't lord it over the wife that says like, look, I am the man, you should submit and bow down. No, you're working together in a marriage and you guys are united as one. So just always keep that in mind and use that to better your relationship and create that equal footing for open communication. So how does all this tie into understanding our wives? So we do have to kind of correlate openness and closeness in with it as well, because we can't start to learn to understand our wives without, being connected with her. Living with them every day, you're going to pick up on things that she likes to do. Talking with her and discussing careers and the kids and how your day goes. You'll pick up on kind of how your wife operates and how you can just better communicate with her. So when taking those times, you're just going to learn to understand her better anyway. So understanding is just a little more of a conscious effort to sit down and to listen to what she has to say, just to watch how she functions and what she plans doing, like in a routine. Okay, so she likes to, get all like the housework done or dishes, and then she'll take a shower. So that's just the way she likes to do it. So just try to like help her out doing those things. Don't be like, babe, you need to do this now because I'm doing this now. Just work with her, learn to live with her. And when we're trying to understand, if your wife starts talking about some issues, as men, especially as me, because I'm a service technician, I fix things for work. So one thing we have to always watch ourselves when our wife's like, I'm having such a hard day with this and I gotta read and I don't know how I'm gonna do it all. Me and my nature, I wanna be like, okay, how can I fix it? What do I need to do? But not all the time do they want us to fix it. Sometimes they just want us to listen and kind of get that off their chest. And they want to feel and know that we care about what they're going through. It's not that they physically can't handle it. It's just they need to express how they're feeling because they're just a little more emotional, which is natural because that's a great thing. Make good mothers and wives and all that stuff. I mean, we couldn't do that. But just make sure you listen, and sometimes, in a nice way, just be like, hey babe, do you want me to do anything for you in this situation? Or do you just want to tell me, just let me know how you're doing? So then at least, let her tell you what she wants you to do. Hopefully she doesn't like backlash at you, like, you should just know, or once again, that's going against the respect aspect. So wives, just simply tell your husbands. Most of the time we're just confused, and a simple statement like, yeah, I just want to vent, will work out fantastically.
Yeah, but it's funny because sometimes we women don't even know what is wrong. We don't even know what we need. Yeah, it's like you're angry or you are uncomfortable about something. You tell your husband, you don't know whether you want him to just listen or take an action. We don't understand ourselves, to be honest.
Tread carefully. Try to be loving. Do it with respect, wives, and be forgiving. That's a big one. Also, when they're kind of letting you know their feelings and their emotions, don't downplay them. Just because we don't understand exactly how they're feeling, or they might not even understand how they're feeling. Just be there for the ride. Be there to just hold her when she needs it. Discuss with her, just what her emotions, how she was feeling in that situation, just to help her maybe understand it herself and kind of cope with what's going on. When she comes to you like, babe, I've had a hard day. Like the kids are just a mess. I got ice cream all over the place. I'm like, babe, it's ice cream. Why are you so upset? That's probably like the worst thing to do. Like downplaying their emotions and how they feel. Sometimes they may need a little perspective, but definitely don't downplay it. Realize that those are things that she is feeling. Help her cope through it and get past it. And obviously during, that time of the month, they're a little more vulnerable anyway. So definitely just be aware of that. Wives, feel free to tell us, like, hey, just to let you know what's coming up. I'm a little more on edge. Bear with me. Wives, try to do your best. We'll do what we can. We love you. We'll support you. All right. And when you're doing those things, getting close and understanding, if you do act brashly or downplay your wife's emotions or snap back at her, apologize. Admit when you're wrong. It's really not that hard. Don't let your pride get in the way of obviously your relationship with your wife. Definitely don't try to mansplain things or back your way out of situations. That would also just make them mad as well. They're like, well, I was justified when I told you to shut up. No, you weren't. Let her finish talking. It's not that big of a deal. You will have the moment to discuss with her and give your opinions on the situation. Maybe not at the exact moment that she's yelling out everything or letting you know how she feels. Maybe it could be the next day, maybe it's in an hour or two. Just play the situation, feel it out. And like I said, let her know that you want to understand her and you're there with her instead of just trying to box her in and make her fit in a tiny little package of life. And kind of lastly, just make sure you pray with your wife. If you're understanding her, if you're listening to her through the day as she discusses things, make sure that when you pray with her, you pray for her in those things. That she knows that you understand her needs from God and her needs from Christ, and that you are conscious of that, and you're, talking to the Father about how we can intervene and encourage us with the Holy Spirit. Obviously, day to day, He's a loving Father, and He wants to give us a good life and help us in those situations. So, just as a team, as a couple, just pray together, pray for each other, pray for our situations, and all that you do, really. But in general, guys, that's pretty well all for understanding. I really think we touched on some really great topics here. Definitely can avoid some red flag situations.
Thank you once again for joining us on this episode. Please don't forget to share this video with your friends and family, because I believe people or marriages out there will learn a great deal from this.
Yeah, we've gotten just tons of comments that are like, hey, we've really enjoyed the series. Those are great points, and thank you for doing this.
Yeah.
We just want to say that we're only sharing knowledge. These aren't things that we've discovered. Obviously, Dr. Emerson in the book kind of had that moment of intervention, if you might say, from the Holy Spirit, which all that knowledge comes from God anyway. So bless God that He's able to intervene in our lives and give us this knowledge that we can use practically and for His glory.
Yes. All right, we'll see you guys in the next episode. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and be good. Ciao.